Good morning. It's February now. Time to change the calendar. Anybody else have one of these? I don't know. I think I bought the first one they did, and now it's like 5 years later, and I need my other hand for a moment. Okay, well, I was only here for about 5 days in January, so now we've got the month of February to deal with at the moment. It's like 35 and I don't know, we got a bunch of snow, but it's kind of melting. I don't like this. It's kind of nasty. But Megan's here. We are going to have some breakfast on the cheap here at the house. I really have no idea what's going on for the rest of the day. The 3 Series has a lot of issues with the brakes right now. I'll explain in detail more in detail later, but we've got new pads and rotors and all kinds of stuff coming, so I'm going to need a day to put that in, and it's gonna suck because it's so cold. Look how small Taco is. He's tiny, and he's a totally different kind of cat. His face looks different, and he's really soft, not as furry. He's more like, what's that material? Velour. We have a Velour Cat. And it's Wednesday, happy hump day. I don't recall filming anything. No, I did. I talked about something today. I don't remember what. Anyways, Megan came over. We made brunch, eggs, bacon, and toast. And then got into a little bit of productivity. I had the Retina, or the Touch Bar 15-inch MacBook Pro. I made sure all the data was on the non-Touch Bar, my old one. And then I booted into the recovery partition and formatted the drive, and then booted into the utility and reinstalled OS 10, cleaned it up, put it in the box, drove up to the Apple store, no questions asked, it was no problem, returned that. And then I also took one of my sync cables up there. So the Lightning Apple, the white cables, it would only work one way. If I turned it over the other way, it wouldn't work. And it's, it's symmetrical. It's identical on both sides. There's no reason it would work on one side and not the other. So I took that up there, and I didn't have a Genius appointment, but they were able to just let me talk to a tech for 3 minutes, and they gave me a new one using the serial number on my iPhone 7. And that kind of begs the question, if I have 5 cables, some of which dating back to, I don't know, my iPhone 6, one with the 6S, now one with the 7, one with my iPad Air 2, they can't tell based on the cable what device it's from. As long as I have a device that's within a year, can't they just assume that it's that cable? But maybe if I were going in there every week with a different cable, they'd be like, dude, we just replaced this one. This one's clearly more than a week old. I don't know how that works. If they weren't like $29, I would just buy a bunch of them, but they're too expensive to warrant that. Anyways, returned that crap. All the Christmas stuff is done, as you saw yesterday. Got a nice fire in the fireplace. We got a pizza for dinner and then watched the Cavs who was it, Minnesota Timberwolves, and what's that guy's name? Andrew Wiggins. I think he was drafted by Cleveland a few years ago, and then we traded him for Kevin Love, who is out right now with lower back spasms. But anyways, good win in the land here, 125-97, I think. Very close first half and an awesome second half for the Cavs, so that was fun to see. But yeah, time to wrap things up and get to bed. I did get I guess I'll talk about the 3 Series briefly. So I went out and I started it yesterday. It sat for 3.5 weeks. It's a 6-year-old battery. I didn't even know if it was going to start. Get in, turn the key, starts up fine. Lots of Vanos noise and lots of lifter tick probably from sitting that long for about 5 to 10 seconds. That disappeared, sounds normal. What I noticed backing out of the driveway was, well, firstly, the tires were frozen to the ground, and I think the pads were frozen to the rotors. I had to give it like 3,000 RPM and a lot of clutch to get it to break free and start rolling again. I had never felt that in a car before, but once I got it rolling, then I tapped the brakes. There's like nothing. There's virtually no brakes on that car. It was downright unsafe. And then it felt like somebody had welded like $50 coins. If you're not from the US, like picture really big, thick, pepperoni-sized metal coins to the rotors. And the pedal, as you're driving, the pedals just, if you're on the brakes, it's like thump, thump, thump as every time it goes over this certain spot in the rotor. So it's like, what the hell? This was totally fine 3.5 weeks ago. So I get out and look at it, and the rotors just look like, they've been with the Titanic for about 75 years. Actually 105 years. The Titanic's been down there. They look like shit. So I thought, well, I know it's been sitting outside in Ohio now for 3.5 weeks, almost a month, in crap weather and freezing cold climate. So maybe it needs to wear off. So I went out and I drove it and used the brakes hard, and it's really not wearing off. Those rotors look like absolute shit. So I got very resourceful online, and for an extremely competitive price bought OE. Zimmerman seems to be the original equipment supplier for BMW. Front rotors, rear rotors from FCP Euro. Then I got brake pads from Tire Rack because they had the best deal on the pads. And then from ECS, I bought the stainless steel set screws because they had the only deal on that for the stainless ones. So here's the pads, doing with my tried and tested and true Hawk HPS. The front one's obviously in the bigger box than the rears. I ordered everything yesterday, and these got here today. So great shipping from Tire Rack, but they're in South Bend, Indiana, so that's not far. I think the rest of it, the rotors are coming tomorrow, and then the ECS tracking number that they've sent, I click it and it says, you know, it says it's not valid yet, so they haven't processed it yet. But it's going to suck DIYing this job for a couple of reasons. One, it's February, by the way, happy February, but it's going to be absolutely freezing outside on a filthy, cold garage floor, so that's going to suck. And then B, everything on that car is going to be rusty and seized and difficult to work on. So I'm going to do all of that and then hope that it's not like a fluid leak or water got in the brake fluid. I mean, the last time I went to California with Megan in November, I came back, their motor mount had broken, destroyed the axle, and the front right caliper was seized. I can't leave this car sit. Too many miles, too old. Every time I come back, and it's like several $100s to make it drivable again. Where was I going with that? So they did the brake fluid flush when they rebuilt that front right caliper. So the fluid's new, and it was fine then. And for, you know, 6 weeks, 6 weeks after that. So I'm going to get the new pads and rotors on there, bed that in. If it still feels weird, you know, I'll give it a visual, and I'm working on that, all that too. I'll check the little shorty brake lines from the steel pipes, the stainless pipes to the caliper, and I'll look at the rings and the pistons and all of that. So we'll have to see. It's going to suck. Hopefully it doesn't cost any more money, but if nothing else, I'll get brand new brakes out of it. So it's almost midnight. I'm going to go to bed, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow, and hopefully what is more than a one-taker on Thursday. Good night.